Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Title Scoop this week. Happy Friday. We're going to be on our last topic on cyber fraud. I know we've talked about it several weeks, but again, it's so important during this busy season that we just keep our eyes open and are ready for anything that could happen just to prevent hacking, prevent any money from being stolen, any fraud that could happen. So with that, I'm just going to go over some preventative steps, some tips just to kind of keep in mind, and also things that you can make sure that you're telling your clients and that your clients are also making sure that they're telling the buyers and the sellers, because again, those end users a lot of times are the targets. So the first one is just being cautious about clicking on emails, clicking on links with emails, downloading things from emails. If it's not someone that you're expecting, don't click on it. If you're not sure why it's coming as an attachment, don't click on it. Call that person and say, hey, did you send this? There's a lot of ways that you can just kind of go, oh, wait, something looks a little wrong here. If you do have to send private information, make sure you're sending it via secure means, encrypted email. Most of us have that nowadays, but if you don't, talk to your IT team. There's a lot of different programs that you can run. A lot of times it can be free with whatever email program that you're running. So make sure that you're definitely not sending any private information out that's not protected. When you're wiring money, we talked about this already, but it's definitely a good reminder. Make sure that you have a good verification, validation process. Make sure every wire that you're sending out, you're confirming that information with the person that it's being sent to, so that you know that you're sending it to the right place. Before you type any information into a website, make sure again that you're on a secure site, that the website's right. Look really closely, because again, one letter can be off, and there's hackers out there who have created basically websites that look almost identical to the websites that you're used to. So if you click a link in your email, and that's a lot of times where it is, click this link to go to this bank, then you could be going to their fake website. So that's another tip, is don't click a link to get to a website from your email. Always go to the actual, go to your internet browser and type the website in, just so that you're going to the place and you know that you're going to the right website. Because a lot of times you'll have that saved and it'll be correct. Clean your email out on a regular basis. This is one that hackers have used forever. They've been able to look at old emails, and they've been able to hack in and create a whole lot of issues for title companies by looking at old emails. So clean those out regularly. Have a way to archive those, save them to your server, whatever it is, but just have ways to make sure that they're not going to be able to see things happening from years ago or even months ago. Along those lines, make sure your operating and your browsers are always updated. Again, we talked about that already, but that's a really easy way that if we're not protecting our systems, that hackers can get in and they can have malware, they can have Trojan horses, whatever the case may be, where they can really break into your system and start stealing money. Watch for fake email addresses, sort of like websites. You want to really make sure that that email is right. A good way to know that is if you have people that you've been emailing a lot of times. So say I email John Smith a lot. When I see it in my email, it's going to say John Smith. It's not going to say jsmith@abctitleco.com or whatever the email is, because you don't see the full email. So that's just another thing to keep an eye on. Make sure that those emails are right. They're not one letter or one number off, because again, that could be someone who's portraying to be that person. Make sure old emails are shut down. This is when I think they could really easily fall through the cracks. If you have someone who's left the company or retired, you might have their emails forwarded for a while, but have a really good process on that to when you're going to shut it down. Because there's been cases where hackers have started using old employees' emails, and clients are like, wait, I didn't know you were back, and they can sit there and communicate with people acting like they work there. And they'll work out of those email systems. The last thing is, find any safeguards you can. Again, talk to your bank, talk to your IT team, make sure you have two-factor authentication, anything you can do, especially on your work computer, to make sure that people don't have access to your computer. The last thing is just damage control. If for some reason something does happen, make sure you have a really good protocol or process in place, what you're going to do, who you're going to talk to, who's going to communicate it, what authorities are going to be talked to, whether it's local. A lot of times the FBI wants to be notified. IC3 is a part of the FBI, and if you're ever curious, you can take a look at that. But again, just make sure you have a really good process in place, so that if anything happens, you are ready to go, ready to call the banks, ready to call all the customers that are involved. With that, that's all for this week. Let me know if you have any other topics. If not, we'll see you next week.